And a good morning to you and welcome to the show. The Back Nine Boys Golf Show is brought to you by Bridgestone Golf, play the ball that fits you, by CPOM's Resort featuring the Miracle Practice Facility for members only, by Mizuno Golf, Reach Beyond, and by RSM, proud sponsor of the RSM Classic and giving back to our community. On the show, we're going to talk with two-time PGA Tour winner Harris English about his win in Hawaii, pulling out of the Players with a bad back, and his schedule coming up for the rest of the year. Then we'll have Dan Anderson with Paine Stewart Kids Golf Foundation and their future announcement of partnering with all the boys and girls clubs. That's a pretty big deal. And then we'll talk with five-time PGA Tour winner Jonathan Bird about his game and looking into the future, which includes playing next week at Congaree in South Carolina. But first on the tee this morning is Harris English, who won his second tournament in Hawaii after a runaway win in the Shark Shootout with Matt Kuchar. Matt said he was hitting the ball pretty good down there, and Harris and I had a chance to sit down and talk about his win in Hawaii.
Yeah, I'd had a lot of success in the fall. I played really well, had a lot of top tens built up, and I didn't really take a big break. Even though the PGA Tour ended, I think, at the RSM right after Thanksgiving. I played well on Sunday to finish top 10 here, and always look forward to playing that Shark Shootout down in Naples. Teamed up with Matt Kuchar again, a good buddy of mine, and you kind of use it as a barometer to see how your winter's going. I've been working on a lot of stuff and to put it in play, and you get a chance to try some different shots that you're not used to because you have a partner and it's a little more fun and you can free it up a little bit. And I played really, really well there. Kind of hitting it on all cylinders, and I think we won by 9 shots or something and set a tournament record. So I had a lot of confidence coming off that tournament down there, and it was only a few short weeks before I went out west, stayed in La Quinta, California, kind of make that our home base for the West Coast swing, and practiced out there a good bit before I went to Hawaii. So I'd not really taken a whole lot of time off. I feel like my game was in a great spot, and went to one of my favorite places, Kapalua. I felt so grateful to be there. Of even though I didn't win last year, making in the Tour Championship, I knew I was going to go to Kapalua. So it was always just a huge plus to be out there and so much fun. And on top of that, felt my game was in a great shape and got off to a great start and got in contention and kept it rolling. But after a long winless drought, it was awesome to pull it off when I needed it most and to get back on top.
So you had 3 really good rounds. You're coming into the final Sunday at Kapalua. What were your thoughts going into the final round?
Yeah, the scores are pretty low that week, and it's kind of nice knowing going into a final round, even though I don't remember if I was tied for lead or one up, that you have to play well, that you have to make birdies, you have to keep the pedal down. It's kind of nice going into it that you have to do that. I'd played that course really well all week and didn't get off to the greatest starts. I think I was even or 1 under through 9 holes and had lost a little bit of ground on the field. But I knew going into the back 9, I felt like I could birdie every hole. It's one of those courses where you're going to have a lot of wedges. You got a drivable par 4. You can get all the par 5s and 2. And it was just one of those things where I didn't really get down on myself. I saw the positives. Hey, I'm 2 back going in the last 9 on a PGA Tour event. This is exactly where I want to be, and hit some really quality shots, made some really good birdies to kind of get myself back into it. And I'm coming down 18. Such a cool hole. I'd played that hole really well all week and really just set up for a perfect 3-iron for me. It's kind of my driving iron. It's one of those clubs where I kind of go back and forth in my set depending on the course, but it's the club that goes a little higher, lands softer in the par 5s, that is really just my par 5 club of hitting my second shot into. And I couldn't have had a better yardage. My caddy really believed in that yardage and believed that I could pull the shot off, and I hit it exactly how I wanted to. And the only thing that would have been better is me capping it off with making eagle on the last hole to win. But glad to be in a playoff with Waco. He was a great dude, and have known him for a while and seen his game grow. And he's a really, really good player. And I knew going in 18, you got to make birdie. And unfortunately, he didn't make birdie. So had to make my 5 or 6 footer.
Big win. You have a pretty good first part of the year, and then you get to the Players, and what happened?
Yeah, I've never had a back injury before. Started off at Concession. The WGC moved to Concession Golf Club in Florida, and my left ankle had been bothering me. Really struggling, like, get through the ball. It almost felt like a sprained ankle, but I'd never really sprained it before. And I don't know if that helped cause the back injury, but felt pretty good at the beginning of the week. I got in a really good practice session on Tuesday, and then I get out there Wednesday, went through Starbucks early in the morning, got a I don't drink coffee, but I got a matcha latte, and getting out of the car, my back felt pretty stiff and sore, and I didn't really think anything of it. I did my normal warm up and started hitting balls, and it just didn't feel right. I couldn't go at it as hard. It just didn't feel like my back was 100%. And then by the time I walked to the first tee, I was playing with Harold Varner and Brendan Todd in a practice round, and by the first tee, I could barely swing a driver. And I played the first hole, and I just thought it was something that would warm up. I mean, I've never had a back injury before, so I didn't know how to attack it. And by number 2, after I hit my tee shot on 2, I was like, I can't play anymore. Like, I've got to go in. I can barely walk. I can't swing a club over 50%. And I was like, I got to get ready for tomorrow. I mean, the tournament starts tomorrow. Like, I know I need to work on my game and get used to this course, but my back doesn't feel right. So I went in and got treatment on it, rested that whole afternoon, and tried to stretch it out, tried to do yoga. Like, nothing worked. Slept that night. I'd never been so uncomfortable sleeping. I couldn't sleep on my back. Had to sleep on my side with my knees and my chest, and had an early tee time the next morning, and woke up and went in to see my trainer. And I was like, man, there's probably a 90% chance, unless you perform a miracle right here,
right,
there's no way I can play. And he tried all different things to help it, and it just didn't work. And saw the Jaguars doctor later that morning, and he kind of diagnosed what was going on, got me some anti-inflammatories and muscle relaxers, and took it on back up to Sea Island. So it was tough. I mean, that's a huge tournament we have circled every year. The biggest purse, I mean, the championship of the PGA Tour, and it just sucked. I mean, I hate being injured. I hate sitting on the sidelines, not being able to play in one of the biggest tournaments of the year. So I came back and had a couple weeks of kind of rehab of trying to diagnose what happened and how to get it better.
Well, you also said that, schedule-wise, you're going to start taking 2-week breaks, and that's obviously been beneficial. No more back issues at this point. So what's your schedule look like for the next couple of weeks, couple months?
Yeah, I'm excited about playing the Palmetto Championship is new this year. It's the former RBC Canadian Open up in Toronto, where they move it around every year. But we can't go to Canada right now, so they moved it down to Congaree, which is an awesome place just up the road in Ridgeland, South Carolina. One of my good buddies, JT Poston, on here, is an ambassador there, so he took us up there probably a year and a half, 2 years ago, and it was amazing. I love the cottages up there. The golf course is awesome. It's going to play firm and fast, kind of a semi-links style course. I mean, it's really cool. I'm looking forward to heading up there on Monday and getting going, and then going from there to Torrey Pines, so kind of two opposite ends of the spectrum. But
right.
Normally, going into majors, I kind of like playing the week before of kind of working out your kinks, seeing really where your game is, because I can practice here all the time, but you don't really know where your game's at until you play it in a tournament and tee it up against the best guys in the world. And so I'm looking forward to Congaree, then going to Torrey Pines, one of my favorite places for the U.S. Open. I've never played it in the summer months. I always play it in late January, early February, where it could be kind of colder. The course doesn't play that fast, so I'm looking forward to seeing it. I know it's going to be awesome. And then capping the 3 tournament, the window with Hartford at the Travelers, which is a great golf course. And so I'm gearing up. Been working hard this past week, getting in the gym a lot with my trainer Tom Hemmings here at the GPC, and working with Justin Parsons some, and just kind of getting my game back in shape for this 3-week stint.
And what are you going to have to do to go over to the British Open, now called the Open? Because it's very different from all the courses that you play here. You never know what the weather is going to be. So how do you prepare for that?
Yeah, links golf is probably one of my favorites that I've ever played. The first time I ever played was in the Walker Cup back in 2011. We played in Scotland at Royal Aberdeen, and that was my first taste of links golf. But I love it. I love the unpredictable nature of it. You get all these weird bounces. I love playing the ball on the ground, and that's what I'll do in my prep here leading up to the British Open is hit a lot of 8-iron bump and runs, hit a lot of pitch and wedge bump and runs. Because rarely you do the open face 60-degree flop shot with spin. I mean, that's a rarity over there. And I know Frederica has a links bunker on the back of their range, so I'll get in there some and work on really hoisting up bunker shots really high, and really dial in a club like I was talking about earlier with my 3-iron driving iron. I have another one in the bag that's pretty much the opposite of that. It's got a steel shaft in it. It's a little lower lofted, and it's a club that I hit low and runs forever. So I'm going to really dial that in and kind of start thinking about how a course is going to play firm and fast and keeping the ball on the ground.
All right. The Fedex Cup will be coming up. One of your goals is to get in the Fedex Cup that you didn't get into last year. You're going to be working up to that, but that's one of the goals towards the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, getting in the Tour Championship is always a goal of mine. A lot of good things come with that. I mean, playing at East Lake, one of my favorite places in Atlanta, kind of getting back in front of a home crowd, but I know it's a tough road. We got 3 playoff events. Liberty National is the first one. The second one is Caves Valley, which I've heard is an awesome golf course. That's why I'm kind of doing these 2-week breaks. I know it's a long year, and I want to be fresh for those tournaments where it means a lot of points and a lot of money at stake, and it's something that I really look forward to throughout the year.
That is Harris English, one of the greats. Good guy, second win in Hawaii, and he's working his way through his schedule. Next up is Dan Anderson of the Paine Stewart Kids Golf Foundation, and later in the show, Jonathan Bird. But right now, when I say deep dish, what do you think about? I think about, so does Cody, CJ's Italian Restaurant. Check out their full menu at cjsitalianrestaurant.com. Deep dish, it is what they are known for. So check out that, check out their specialty pizzas, and check out the ones that the kids do. And the kids basically come up with whatever pizzas they want to make from their schools, and the schools get a percentage of the sales from those pizzas. But they are family owned. Ada and Graham are great folks. Most of their food is made in the kitchen from scratch every morning, including the doughs, the breads, the sauces, the dressings, and everything else. But check out their full menu at cjsitalianrestaurant.com. We'll be right back with Dan Anderson on the Back Nine Boys Golf Show.
Hey, everybody, this is John Bell from Widespread Panic, and you are rocking with the Back Nine Boys Golf Show.
And we are rocking, and glad you are rocking and rolling with us. I'm Rich Kyle. Thanks for being with us. Paine Stewart is remembered for a lot of things besides being a snappy dresser. Did a lot of things in his life, won 11 times, 3 majors, and he wanted to help kids. And one of the ways that is happening now is with a guy named Dan Anderson of the Paine Stewart Kids Golf Foundation. Good morning, Dan, and welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
We are thrilled to have you, and I was at the '99 U.S. Open when Paine won an incredible tournament, and I know
Lucky you.
Yes, very lucky. It was hard not to follow him during that tournament. But tell us about the Paine Stewart Kids Golf Foundation that you are one of the co-founders of.
Yeah, well, the foundation started just about a year ago. We actually, Kelly McCammon is the founder of our company, and he's been in the golf world forever. I got involved in '97 through TaylorMade, and so made a connection with Kelly. But Kelly's had a great relationship with a guy named DJ Snell, who is the kind of the legal and agent for the Stewart family. And so the Stewart family started their foundation. Paine Stewart started his family foundation back in '98, which was really focused to get his kids involved in giving back to the community. So his kids' lives were changed through camps. And so he wanted to give back that way. So the foundation they started is the Paine Stewart Family Foundation. And that has been in existence for over 20 years, but it's kind of just sat there not doing a lot. And so Kelly was really great at developing this relationship with DJ and getting them to give us the license to take it and really help give the legacy to Paine some new legs. And so we've done that through golf camps and clinics, which we started in March of 2020. And then just before an event where Tiger Woods, Rory McIlroy, Justin Rose, and Justin Thomas played together to raise funds for the Paine Stewart family, the family asked us to start our own foundation, which was the Paine Stewart Kids Golf Foundation, so that we would be able to accept some funds from them to be able to develop this camps and clinics program for kids a little more rapidly. So we came into existence through that, with them asking us to really kind of take the reins and do that to propel our camps and clinics to kids.
Yeah, and kind of a tough time, March of last year, to start anything, especially a foundation where you're trying to raise money with outdoor events.
It was, but it was actually kind of a blessing at the same time period, because we also were in concept stage. And so we wanted to pilot test our camps to make sure that they were sound. So we have a young guy named Colby Morris, who is great at designing the programs and everything that we do. Along with Wally Armstrong, I'm sure you've heard of that name.
Oh yeah.
So Wally is intimately involved in what we're doing, and he's the one that helped found Snag Golf, and that's all the equipment that we use in our program. So, there's nothing more frustrating for a kid than an adult-sized club and a small little ball to hit. Right. And so Wally's devised some great training tools that we use to get kids to have fun, distance and direction, that, golf can be played anywhere. It doesn't have to be on a golf course. And that's one of the unique things that we're doing, is we're trying to bring golf into the recreation space. So golf really, from a kid's perspective, hasn't grown because kids have to go to the golf course, still play with the larger clubs and smaller balls. And so what we're doing is trying to bring the golf world to the recreation world, which helps from a pricing perspective also. So we're bringing golf away from the golf course into churches, YMCAs, and soon to be Boys and Girls Clubs of America.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the Boys and Girls Club. What is the target age group, Dan?
Target age group is 4 to 9 year olds. So, most of the introductory golf programs start at age 8. And so there's a big gap there between 4 and 8. Most parents, when they're deciding of what sport they're going to get their kids into, are already deciding that at age 3 and 4, and golf isn't an option. So that's what we want to do, is bring golf into the recreation space so that it's an option for parents to choose golf as a sporting option for their kids. And so
that's it. Yeah. So you're the co-founder of the foundation. What was your aha moment of getting involved with the Paine Stewart Kids Golf Foundation?
Well, it was one of those actually working with Kelly. I was working at a church at that point when Kelly and I connected about a year and a half ago. And I was asking Kelly if I could get some, he was working for Short Golf at that time, to see if I could get some of his equipment into our church to run a golf program for our kids. And so through that conversation, it was just how can we expand this further? Now, Kelly has also been working quite extensively with a guy named Kaz McCaslin. Kaz is the founder of Upward Sports. So Upward Sports has been doing things through churches for years. And so they've had thousands of churches involved in the sporting community. And so it was through that we need to bring golf into the sporting community in churches. And so that was basically it. So, Kaz and Kelly really helped propel to get the license, and I just came in to help in any way that I can. I'm a marketing guy, an execution guy, so I'm here to help them and everything kind of get going and get legs.
And what do you need to start a program? I mean, do you just make a phone call, send an email, go on the website? How do you start a program?
Yeah, so the best way to do that is you can go to PaineStewartKids.com, and there's signups there. But what we do is we have communications with the churches and the YMCAs for all the programming. We provide complete programming, stations for golf, but also and all the equipment. So that's one of the barriers also that we found from a kid's perspective is that parents can't pay for, golf learning equipment. And so we provide all the equipment, we provide the programming. We just partner with churches and YMCAs to be able to execute the programming. So Colby, who designed all the programming, trains the churches, gives them the full camp program. So we have camps that are 5 days, 3 hours a day in the summers, and then our clinics, which are 1 hour programs, 1 or 2 times a week after school for 5 to 6 weeks. So that's the best way to, sign up for the programming. We provide all the curriculum, even the registration site.
So there's no cost to the kids to get involved because it's through the schools and the churches.
So there is a cost. So there is a cost to kids through churches. So just a registration cost.
Okay.
But there are, that's why we started the foundation though, is that 62% of families in America cannot afford youth sports. And so we're eliminating a huge percentage of kids that wouldn't be able to play sports without helping them get funded in doing that. So we do have the registration piece for kids that can afford it, but then we also have the foundation to help support in scholarships and programming for kids that can't. So we don't want to be a barrier from a cost perspective to do that. So we do support those kids and families that can't afford it.
And how many camps, clinics will you have? What's your goal for this year?
This year we have 20 locations already signed up for July. So we have 2 camps that are running here in June, 20 in July, which equate to about 40 camps. Okay. So each location runs a morning camp, usually for 4 to 6 year olds, and then 7 to 9 year olds in the afternoon. So they're typically 2 different camps. And then each camp is about 48 to 50 kids. So each location will go through about 100 kids in training. So it's pretty amazing that we have a pretty high percentage of girls that are involved in this. So, when we talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion and everything that we're doing, we have that in mind, that we want to expand golf, to the diverse community. Girls are loving it. In fact, we ran a camp last year in Spartanburg, South Carolina, and the father put her daughter into the camp, and she went away wanting to be, or ultimately talking about dancing to wanting to play golf. And so just that little exposure to golf she loved. And so, that's what we're really trying to do, is expose kids to have fun. It's not, we do game-based programming, just letting kids have fun, letting kids be kids. We have, just the regular golf. We also do disc golf with frisbees, foot golf with soccer. And then Wally has another thing that he designed that was called air golf. It's an air golf flyer. And so it's just getting kids through multi-sports, having fun, game-based programming, let them see the joy through their programming. And so, that's our focus, is just have fun.
And how do you get instructors? I mean, each site has got their own instructors, and they have to go through a training program and all the curriculum?
Yeah, so that's one of the unique things about working with churches that have used that have sports programming. They already have people that are used to running kids through
Okay.
golf, and so all of our curriculum is really fun, game-based play. So it's not that instructional, and sometimes that's the frustrating thing with golf is that kids get frustrated on proper hand placement and the swing
Right.
and all that stuff, and so if we just get them swinging the club, if we get them swinging the air golf flyer and the circular motion, they're learning the basic element of the swing. And so the first step is let them have fun, let them naturally swing on the elements that we do, and training that way. Because if you get too instructional, it's not fun, and the kids
Right.
don't want to deal with it anymore. So we've learned that the programming that through churches and volunteers, they can execute our programming beautifully. Kids have a blast and want to continue in the golf thing. If they get to a point where, they're actually getting pretty good, that's when we want to pass them off to PGA junior golf camps. And so we're working with Mark Haddad and that group there so that we can transition kids from fun that can actually want to start learning golf on a golf course over to those. And so, we don't want to be exclusive. We're in a space that really nobody's in. It's big blue ocean, but
Right.
we want to make sure that they're handed off in the right direction to the proper channels so that they can go and transition to play golf on a golf course.
So tell us about the upcoming boys and girls partnership that you can't announce fully as yet. Just tell us, that's got to be exciting for you.
It's really exciting. I mean, if you look at where a lot of kids actually start sports, it's in the Boys and Girls Clubs of America, and they have 4,700 locations across the country. So if we're talking about having the programming, turning over our programming to them to execute, more kids are going to get exposed to playing golf in that partnership. And so, that's one of the beautiful things of, talking about getting diversity, equity, and inclusion involved in golf.
Right.
This is the channel to do that. So if we don't have Boys and Girls Clubs as a part of our programming, we've missed the huge opportunity. And that's where we really want to do is excel. So because of that, we have, everything that we do through the Boys and Girls Clubs, we have to raise funds to do. And so that's something that we want to do. And, so we'll be announcing a little bit more. In fact, the national golf tournament that we're going to be running in September to help raise funds to support the Boys and Girls Clubs of America camp. So, excuse me, we're going to be piloting 5 camps this year, this summer, just to make sure we work through all the kinks, and then we'll expand significantly last year once we get through it. But so we'll be announcing that partnership. It's pretty solid. We just need to get final signatures, and then the press release will be going out probably next week.
Oh, fantastic program. It's great to try and get kids. I wish I would have gone in when I was that young, but it's just a great program. The Boys and Girls Clubs will be great. And Dan, thanks for getting up so early to talk with us this morning.
Hey, not a problem at all. Happy to do it, and appreciate you getting word out of what we're doing. So feel so blessed to be a part of what Tracy, Aaron, and Chelsea are doing to keep their father's legacy alive. Because it was really, as we say, it's inspiring others through the faith, fun, and flair of Paine Stewart.
Love it.
So it's just a really fun program to be a part of, and we're really excited because we're filling a gap where getting kids exposed to golf. And there's just such a huge need. We just get a lot of people telling us, wow, this is amazing. Glad you guys are doing that. So we're thrilled to be in that space.
Well, Dan, have a blessed day. Thanks for being
with
us.
You do the same. Thanks, Rich. Appreciate it. All right. Take care.
Dan Anderson with the Paine Stewart Kids Golf Foundation. Coming up next is PGA Tour player Jonathan Bird. But what do Luke Donald and Keith Mitchell have in common? Because they know what Mizuno golf clubs can do, because they perform and they have a great feel. Mizuno Golf introduces their new series of drivers and fairway metals so that can extend your long game. Their new irons, the JPX 921s and the MP20s, are built for feel and absolute precision and performance. And you can complete your bag with a new M-Craft putter. Check out all the clubs at MizunoGolf.com. Nothing feels like Mizuno. Reach beyond.
Hi, this is Damon Green, PGA Tour caddy, and you're listening to me on the Back Nine Boys Golf Show.
And welcome back. I'm Rich Stiles. We're glad that you are with us. And we're also glad that Jonathan Bird got back from vacation, Rookie of the Year in 2002, five-time winner. Good morning, Jay Bird. How are you?
How you doing, Rich?
I'm doing great. How was the vacation?
It was great. Got some good quality time with my mom up in South Carolina. We were in South Litchfield, right above Pawleys Island, and got some good rest, good family time, and got home last night.
Well, we appreciate you talking with us this morning. But first, I got to ask you this. The last time you and I kind of talked, you said you're still trying to be the best golfer in the family. How hard is that now, and how is Jackson doing?
He's doing well. I got the edge right now. A little better lately. No, he's going to turn 15 here in July. He's going into ninth grade. He hadn't been playing quite as well as from a scoring standpoint. He's kind of taking a little break from it. He played high school golf this spring, but he's got a kind of a big summer coming up with some tournaments. So he's just starting to get back into it and playing a little bit more. But he's got a great foundation. He's got a great swing, hits it really far. He's hitting it about 15, sometimes 20 by me right now. It's pretty impressive for a 14-year-old.
Yeah. So how proud of him are you and the improvement that he's made?
Well, I'm really proud of his work ethic at times.
Well, he's 15.
Yep. He's a hard worker. My wife and I, Amanda and I, are really proud. He's worked really hard in school. He's making all A's. He's a smart kid, but when he's in school, he's really paying attention, and he does a really good job in the classroom, and he's off to a great start with his game. He knows he's got some stuff he needs to work on. He needs to work a little harder coming up this summer and kind of get focused, but he's in a good place.
Well, he's had a good dad to help him along. One of the folks that I told that you were going to be on the show wanted to find out, how did you get your nickname Jay Bird?
Well, I think it's kind of self-explanatory. First initials Jonathan for Jay, and then last name Bird. Some other guys on tour have, like Jay Haas is called Jay Bird, first name Jay. Mine's a little more self-explanatory than other people.
Always nice to have. So now you're back. You're going to play Congaree next week. What's your schedule kind of look like?
Well, I'm still playing under the past champion category. It's actually a combination of past champion and then 151 to 200 off previous year Fedex Cup list. So, we go through stretches in my category where you're not getting in a good amount of tournaments, kind of in the, Florida swing. And then, coming right now, we just kind of hadn't got in a lot of tournaments. But the summertime, you kind of have a stretch where you actually can put some, 3 in a row, maybe, or 5 out of 6 weeks you play in some tournaments. So it's kind of the time you need to kind of put some good weeks together. So I'm going to play Congaree next week, and then I think I have 2 weeks off, and then I'll play hopefully 5 out of the next 6 weeks to kind of close out my summer. So I'm looking forward to the stretch. My game's starting to kind of come together. Been playing some pretty good golf lately at home, and we'll see what happens.
Have you played Congaree before?
I have. Jackson and I went up and played about 2 weeks ago. To try, I was wanting to see it twice before the week started. I got up there one time, and we had a great day. We had a great caddy, and he showed us around, and we had a good little match. But it's a unique golf course. It's really, really firm, really fast conditions, fast fairways, fast greens, a lot of runoffs on the greens, not a lot of rough. It's pretty much either fairway, waste bunkers, or kind of a high hay grass. So my game plan is to stay out of the hay grass.
Yep, and keep it in the fairway.
Right.
All right. Tell us about your trip to Jacksonville when you were on your way down to a Corn Ferry Tour event and you got to the airport. Tell us what happened.
I assume I know what you're talking about. I've had some interesting travel experiences, but I think you're referring to the one I was trying to go to Panama, and I
Yep.
got to Jacksonville, and I realized I got to the check-in gate at Delta, and it asked for my passport, and I realized my passport was at home. And it's not a good feeling when your flight's in about an hour and 20 minutes, and you're an hour and 15 minutes from home. So
Right.
I rebooked my flight to Panama, called my wife, rerouted, went back home and got my passport, and then I had a flight the next day. And by the end of that day, I was in the PGA Tour event instead of the Corn Ferry event because the number had changed so much. So one of those mistakes that worked out in the end. I got to go play in Pebble Beach instead of Panama on the Corn Ferry Tour.
And Pebble Beach has got to be one of a lot of golfers' favorites. I just can't imagine what it'd be like to go out there and play in a tournament.
It's definitely the most beautiful experience I've had on a golf course. I got one of my buddies who said, God must have just lingered there just a little bit longer in creating, because it's a magnificent piece of property, and it just really never disappoints. Even when the weather's bad, it's kind of like going over to the playing courses in Scotland. It's even when the rain's coming down sideways, it's still a pretty darn good experience.
Well, when you go to Scotland, that's what you expect. I mean, if it's a nice day, it's like, how unusual is this, right?
Yeah, you get about four or five different weather conditions in one day over there.
All right. So what are you working on game-wise? You say your game's in a pretty good place. So tell us a little bit about how it is.
I'm actually not working on a whole lot right now. I've made a couple changes recently, kind of trying to get away from kind of working on a lot, too many things. And it's actually pretty simple right now. I'm working on my ball striking by just hitting some balls off some downhill lies, just trying to hit it solid and kind of get my pivot in a good place. I've been swinging an orange whip. It's been kind of helping me with my rhythm and just kind of overall athleticism, which is a little different than what I've done in the past. And I'm really just trying to get away from any technical thoughts. I'm just trying to play a lot of golf. I've been playing a lot. I've been working with Morris Pickens, and we've been playing some different games. Just kind of feel oriented games. I've been playing games where, like, whatever my yardage is, I got to hit 2 extra clubs. So if I have 150 yards, which is a stock 9-iron for me, I got to hit a 7. Just to kind of get more feel oriented and start seeing some shots and kind of just play a lot. I've been doing a lot of putting games and short game games and wedges, but just trying to stay off the range a little bit and just play a little more golf. I've been shooting some better scores and just kind of more excited to play at the moment.
Well, it seems like you've got it in the right place, and we hope it is for you. But how much, as you're growing and you're getting older, is the mental part of the game? I mean, everybody says, the PGA players have got the skills. They know they can do it. They just got to put 4 rounds together. But sometimes, like with Jordan Spieth, he was just hearing a lot of different voices. And you said you're trying to keep it simple.
Well, my approach right now is more like, instead of approaching it like I need to go find something and figure something out.
Right.
In order to play well, I'm kind of just approaching it more like, hey, I'm the expert at this. Just kind of get out of your own way and just go do what you know how to do.
And
that's my approach right now. And I kind of feel like I don't know anything about what Jordan Spieth's doing or what his approach is, but he's sure, like, his golf swing doesn't look better than it did last year.
Right.
In some ways, I think it looks worse. And he's not hitting it I don't know if he's hitting it any better or worse. He just looks like he's really focused on scoring the ball and having a high acceptance level, because he's still hitting bad shots, but he's in the hunt about every week he plays, because he's one of the best players ever with a wedge and a putter, and just, he's a great competitor. So it's been fun to watch him lately.
Yeah, if I remember, over the last couple of years, he seemed to have gotten upset a lot and banging clubs, and maybe he's at a better place mental wise as he's going through and kind of getting back and trying to save par or make it pretty on holes where he's had a couple of bad shots.
Yeah, he definitely seems at peace. And I don't know Jordan that well, but he, I think everybody in golf's glad to see him playing well. He's easy to root for, and it's always a mixture of mental and physical. It's a
Yep.
it's a blend that nobody really knows what the secret is, and I think with every player it's a little bit different. Sometimes it's a mindset set shift. Sometimes, like for me right now, I think it's a habit switch of just kind of not going down a technical route. And other guys, it might be that they need to get more technical focus,
Right.
kind of
Right.
get things sharper. So everybody's different.
Jay Bird, we got to take a quick break. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes with Jonathan Bird on the Back Nine Boys Golf Show. Stay with us.
Hello, this is Chris Hacks, men's golf coach at the University of Georgia, and you're listening to the Back Nine Boys Golf Show.
And welcome back. I'm Rich Stiles. We're with Jay Bird, Jonathan Bird, who is going back out to Congaree next week on the PGA Tour. Jonathan, which one of your 5 wins stands out the most? Is it the one in Las Vegas that you won in a playoff with a hole-in-one, or was it the first one?
I think to me, probably my first one stood out the most. That's probably a bad answer. I think probably Vegas and the first one probably stand out the most.
Okay.
And then Maui, the last one was just kind of icing on the cake, because it kind of came after Vegas. It was the next event I played in, so that was just kind of just icing.
When you were full schedule, was there favorite courses that you wanted to play? And if so, what is one of your favorite courses?
I would say I had many favorites. And I think for me, there were some places I love going to, the towns and the cities. places like Charlotte, places like Hilton Head, because they're close to home, and a lot of Clemson folks or a lot of people watching me play golf or just friends and family. So those are, I obviously love those two golf courses. And then there's other events you just love going to the golf. That course was just stood out. A place like LA Riviera was a place that just,
Right.
you're just challenged to play that golf course and try to play it well. I played it so poorly for many years, and then I had one year I played really well and had a chance to win coming down the last 9 holes, and that was very satisfying. And then another one would be just courses you always play well. A course like Tampa Innisbrook down in Tampa was a course I just played well every year. John Deere was a course I played well every year, and the old 84 Lumber Classic. So
Yeah.
I think you probably get the most excited for courses you tend to play well, because that's where you make most of your impact in your year. And I have a few of those coming up this summer. So John
Good.
Deere Classic's one of them. Detroit last year I played really well. It was a fun golf course. So I'm looking forward to some of those this summer.
Part of your warm up before you go out and play, I know a lot of players, and I was talking to Harris the other day, and he was telling me that he does yoga. You do yoga, don't you?
I do not.
You
I'm
do
sure
not?
I do
Okay.
I
Okay.
do some form of yoga, just with breathing exercises. I do breathing exercises every morning, probably like 8 to 10 minutes of it.
Okay.
Actually with a computer. But I've done more Pilates in my background.
Okay.
I got started with a trainer in Las Vegas, Tiger's old trainer, that Tiger worked with more for his career. And that I got doing some Pilates, but it's kind of functional fitness Pilates. I worked with Tom Hemmings. I've worked with Randy in the past, and you're kind of doing a mix of a lot of different things with your golf warm up or golf warm or stretches,
Yeah.
correctional exercises.
Well, so when will you go down to Congaree for next week?
But I remember doing yoga once, and I felt like I almost tore my shoulder off. So I've been like a little scared to do yoga ever since.
When will you
head
leave
up to Congaree
Congaree?
on Monday morning?
Okay.
Monday morning. I'm going to get a
Well, good
workout
luck.
here Monday morning at Scout.
All right. Well,
Thank
good
you.
luck. We'll hope you have a great week. Thanks for being with us after your vacation. We appreciate it.
No problem. See you, Rich.
All right, take care. Jonathan Bird, otherwise known as Jay Bird, going back on the PGA Tour this week. We're going to thank him for being with us, as well as Harris English and Dan Anderson from the Paine Stewart Kids Golf Foundation. And we want to thank you for being with us on the Back Nine Boys Golf Show, heard every Saturday and Sunday right here on ESPN Coastal, also on all your social media outlets. You know what they are. So join us next week for the Back Nine Boys Golf Show right here.